Should people be concerned about this threat level?
I think we should always be vigilant about the terrorist threat. We've had recent examples of terrorist attacks and the appalling attack yesterday. I think the first thing I'd like to say, Tom, in respect of it, is to pay tribute to David Perry, a very, very, very brave man and an absolute superstar. And the actions he took probably saved many, many other lives.
Certainly, that seems to be the case. It's a remarkable story, although a lot of people will be concerned that the bomber in the first place seemed to have some sort of ideology that meant he wanted to kill many, many people. Do we have any indication as to what that might be?
We have no indication at the moment. I think what we've seen over the pandemic period is an increase in the radicalisation of what's called the lone wolf. So a change away from people acting on behalf of or in linking with bigger organisations to individuals, but no individuals who carry out terrorist attacks are truly alone. So as you've alluded to already, Tom, we have information regarding his conversion to Christianity, a previous arrest for possession of a knife, some suggestion of mental health problems. So many, many things that the authorities are going to need to investigate to understand exactly why this individual carried out the attack that he did.
Now, obviously, this attack comes just weeks after one of your colleagues was killed in what was also declared as a terrorist incident. Is the United Kingdom becoming less safe?
I don't think the United Kingdom is becoming less safe. I think that on occasion, terrorists will be able to pose a threat and to carry out attacks. My great friend Sir David Amess, one of the best men in Parliament, paid a very heavy price for these lone wolf attacks, the radicalisation of individuals. But we must all be vigilant, we must all be calm, we must also, as Damien Hines alluded to in the news, if we see any or have any suspicions of terrorist activity or any concerns regarding the behaviour of any individuals, please report that to the police. That's the best thing we can all do to keep ourselves safe. I think we should take reassurance that we've got the best police and intelligence services in the world. This government has given £914 million in funding in the last year to them, £32 million for the establishment of a counter-terrorism centre to keep the country safe and various other measures in place. So we are taking measures to ensure that our security is increased. But again, I must pay tribute to our security services, to counter-terrorism police who work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep us safe.
Now, much is being made that this bomber was an asylum seeker. He didn't have his asylum application approved as far as we know. And also on the front pages of many newspapers this morning, the curious story that he apparently converted to Christianity in 2017. Now, I've been speaking to some Church of England clergymen over the last 24 hours who seem to suggest to me that there is a bit of a problem of asylum seekers potentially not being entirely sincere when they seek to convert in order to try and advance their application process. Is that a problem that you've encountered?
It's not a problem I've come across, Tom. I would have to speak to the same people that you've spoken to get an idea of the scale of that problem. As we discussed already, each individual case is based on different circumstances. We need to understand and learn from each individual case. But at the end of the day, what links all of these acts are that they are criminal acts by criminals motivated by different things. We have to understand that to make sure that our protections against further criminal acts are in place. So the background to this gentleman will need investigation. That is one of the strands of the investigation that I'm sure the police are looking into. And if we have to take steps at both the national level and in terms of supporting our police to address these problems, or whether it's the immigration service, we must do that. One of the things that concerns me is that the reports of the device this gentleman was carrying, well, I think it's highly likely that if we were to go on the internet at this moment in time, there may well be some terrorist organisations who are putting out their information which would encourage or at least help other individuals to construct bombs and various other things that would do harm to people. So it's a wide-ranging debate. There are steps that politicians can take. We must do everything possible to take down any information from the internet which is helping these lone wolf terrorists, to give them information, to help them construct explosive devices. So it's a wide-ranging investigation. The Home Affairs Select Committee in Parliament will be will be we'll be asking questions, making sure that we know the background to this, and legislation will be put in place if it needs to be to address some of the concerns and some of the issues that arise from this case.